There comes a moment in life when you get tired of your own suffering. Maybe something fell apart, a relationship, a dream, a version of yourself that you thought you were supposed to be. Or maybe it wasn't just wanting one big collapse, it was disappointment after disappointment, setback after setback, until you finally sit back, you look at your life and you think, that's enough, something has to change. In that moment, if you truly love yourself, you make one of those important decisions that changes the direction of your life forever. You decide, I don't want to suffer anymore. Not everybody makes that decision. Some people think suffering is a part of life. They tell themselves, everyone is suffering, everyone is struggling. Suffering is a part of life, and I just need to learn how to live with it. And they do. They learn, they endure, they adjust, they settle. For them, living in suffering is a normal way of living and being. But those who really love themselves, they don't settle. They get determined to end their suffering and enjoy life. Kind of in the back of their mind, they believe that they were not created on earth just to suffer. On the way of doing that, they may fall into trap of blaming the outside circumstances for their suffering and trying to fix that by getting a new partner, getting a new job, getting a new house, or living in a new city. And if that works, then that brings some relief into their lives. But after a while, they see that the suffering comes back. They're still not happy and fulfilled. So they eventually realize that suffering doesn't come from outside circumstances. So it cannot go away by fixing those circumstances. You see, life always brings up challenges. No one can escape that, no matter how many pieces we think we have gotten right. I learned this the hard way. What we don't usually know is that suffering is different from the pain of those challenging moments. Challenges are a natural part of life, are a natural part of ups and downs of just being alive. And the pain we feel because of those challenges is completely natural. But suffering happens when we internalize the pain of those challenging moments and let it shape who we are. We start telling the story of our life based on those challenging moments. Then it shapes the way we look at the world, the way we look at ourselves, the way we interpret what happens to us in life, the words that we use to talk to ourselves and to others. That moment of making that decision not to suffer anymore can become a turning point when we finally let go of blaming outside circumstances for our suffering, when we let go of trying to fix those circumstances just to end our suffering, when we finally stop telling the story of our life based on what happened to us, when we stop feeding the pain of those challenging moments, when we let the pain of those challenging moments move through us and we remain ourselves. A good example is someone who gets rejected by a person they care about. The pain of that rejection is real. It really hurts. But they can feel that pain and not let it shape who they are. If they start telling their story based on that rejection, like when they start saying to themselves, I'm not lovable or I'm not good enough because that person rejected me, then that becomes suffering. Then every relationship they want to get into is going to be defined by that pain of rejection. The turning point is when they catch that pattern and they choose differently. They feel the pain of rejection, but they let it pass through them. So next time when they want to start a new relationship, that story doesn't define the way they are going to act and react in that relationship. In that turning point, we make a powerful decision. I'm going to feel the pain. I'm going to acknowledge it, but I'm not going to let it define who I am.